Welcome, strays and wanderers, to another thrilling episode of A War of Fang and Fur. I'm Cameron Holt. I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'm joined, as always, by the sizzling Arcana crew.
Spicy.
Last time, we made it to the castle at Arborheart, the castle tree at Arborheart, I should say, rendezvoused with Lady Basil, and began the planning stages of a trip to Duneburrow to overthrow the Rain Lord in favor of Brass Bandalar. After which, Elzor retreated to the Temple of Zephrya and met with a raven who claims to be the mistress of the late King Lupin Ironfang and mother of Hugin. We continue in the drafty open-air guest room within the Temple of Zephrya overlooking Arborheart. Elzor, you've just been told by this raven that she is Hugin's mother. How do you respond?
My word. That is a revelation. Do you have any proof to back up these claims?
I don't have anything written, or, it was all very hush-hush, as were King Lupin's orders and requests, but I'd be willing to submit myself to any type of your clerical magics to prove that I am who I say I am.
I think that would be reasonable, given the risks and intrigue surrounding the people that you're referring to.
Certainly.
Wouldn't it be unreasonable to suspect that certain parties would want to insert a operative or assassin or spy under these pretenses?
Yes, I've heard tell of events that have transpired in Timberhaven as of late. A number of things in Castle Oakreach that were quite troubling, as well as, of course, the tragedy in Howlheart. And you see she kind of like steps over, as she says the tragedy in Howlheart, she kind of like steps over towards this open, where there would be a wall, but instead is just kind of open air, and looks away from you for a moment.
Yes, it was very tragic. I was there. Now, I'm not saying this to discourage your reunion with who you claim is your daughter, but have you considered that by inserting yourself in these events, you put yourself at very grave risk?
Certainly, but I am...
Your anonymity has been a shield up until now.
Right, but I think that the people deserve to know that Hugin of House Luperel is the rightful queen. She is the last in the bloodline of King Lupin Ironfang, and therefore Howlheart should go to the one who rightfully owns it.
Out of game. I thought by politics that she already was, like, named the successor. Or am I wrong there?
But
she was named by
people are.
She was named by
it,
Lady Azalea, and given ladyship by Azalea.
Right.
So, in the eyes of the High King, who still technically oversees all of the Nettlewood Grove, that would not be recognized.
And then populace would be divided amongst that or whatever.
But having blood ties would be an even stronger reasoning.
Gotcha. Well, we will arrange for some divination to assess the veracity of your claims.
Certainly. I'm ready whenever the church may provide. My name is Munin, by the way. She holds out a feathered wing.
Can you spell that for me, please?
Muninn. It's like Hugin, but with M-U-N instead of H-U-G.
Like the other one.
Mums instead of hugs.
Hugging and mun.
Hugging and momming.
Oh.
I got a mommy.
Well, I guess we'll find out in the morning.
Yes.
Might I ask, your name, good brother of Zephrya?
Oh, terribly sorry. My name is Elzor.
It's a pleasure to meet you. She bows deeply.
Likewise. If your claims are true, then it is a great pleasure to meet you.
Yes. Make an insight check.
If you're a
love
liar,
to.
I'll fucking kill you.
Prepare to eat lightning. 17?
Nice. Yeah, you don't see anything in her countenance that betrays deception or anything of that nature. For claiming to be just a barmaid, she's very well put together, and you get the sense that from what you've heard of her story, if anything, that's the thing that's the most suspicious to you. Is that she carries herself well and is well spoken for being a lowly commoner. But that could also just kind of lend itself to how someone of her station was able to romance a king seemingly unknowingly.
Tell me, you have the bearing of someone with perhaps a greater education or a loftier background than someone who worked at an inn or a bar.
Yes, well, while I don't come from nobility of the Nettlewood Grove, my family originally, we migrated south to the Nettlewood Grove from Willow Nest, and my parents were always very adamant about my education and knowing the world around me and how to communicate with those within it. And sadly, I lost them at a young age and had to begin fending for myself. But though I stick to bar work mostly and am very well acquainted with service, I still keep up with my studies and find that it is helpful to know of, especially after this run-in that I've had in the past with King Lupin, I find that I want to be up on my politics in case I should ever run into someone important again and not have similar missteps.
Well, I have great respect for that. I just have one more question for you,
Certainly.
if you don't mind.
Not at all.
What prompted you to reveal this at this time, other than trying to help Hugin solidify her claim to the throne?
Well, I swore an oath of silence to King Lupin, but with his passing, said oath has, for lack of a better term, lapsed. And especially in these tumultuous times, as I said, I try to keep up with politics. Hearing of the danger that Hugin has been in, though I may not have been able to be there for her formative years and throughout her life, I do not wish to see my daughter come to harm, especially unrightfully, if what she claims is the case.
And you don't seek any power for yourself in this endeavor?
Any power or wealth that were to come to me as a means, by way of my daughter's station, would be merely incidental. All that I wish is for her safety and for her to have her rightful title.
Well, very well then. We'll see to your accommodations for now until we can, through the power of Zephrya, verify your claims.
Excellent. Will you be administering the questioning on the morrow?
Likely, yes.
Wonderful. I shall see you then. She bows deeply again as you exit the room. Is there anything else that Elzor gets up to that evening before winding down for the night?
No, that's it.
Excellent. Those of you who are at the Castle Tree at Arborheart, is there anything specifically that you guys get up to that evening before taking your long rest?
Yes.
Oh! What is that?
Dark and mysterious deeds.
Azalea murders her party.
Hugin, I had an idea. I'd like extra eyes on it just to make sure it's the best it can be. I'll bring you to a study and I'll pull out a quill. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to publicize a tale of fiction of a poor, unfortunate family who had only been trying to do good for the kingdom that they were in charge of and was wrongly removed from the seat of power and is now being hunted one by one. It'll be a great fiction, and I'll write the first part and we'll distribute it to every entertainment house, printing press, playwrights. We'll distribute it to everyone. And through works of fiction, people often read between the lines. They find themselves endeared to people of similar status in real life. The armadillo can't take it away because then he would look like a megalomaniac. Someone afraid of mere works of fiction.
We have a war to fight, and you're going to be writing stories.
This will take an evening, and then I'll leave it in my mother's hands.
Impressive.
Thank you. I am. And I will begin writing that out with Hugin's help.
Oh,
Yes.
you need mine tonight?
Yes.
No, I was just gonna go check on Ash and Liliana.
All right, send my mother in.
Lady Basil comes in, and
You immediately hear arguing.
Well, you have to use a pseudonym, Azalea, or they'll know that it's you. You
I
can't
was-
sign your name on it.
That's just for now. And then I'll use a pseudonym that will be clever.
Go ahead and make a performance check. I guess with advantage.
All help is good help. That's a natural 20.
Natural
Oh, shit!
20. As you're going through any misstep that you would have had,
Quickly corrected.
Lady Basil comes in and she's like, "This is contrived. This is hyperbolic,
You sound desperate here, darling.
derivative at best, darling." And she,
Redundant scratch.
but for every critique that she gives, she also
That's right.
gives insightful commentary and suggestions that get your brain working. And not only do you craft something that you think would be convincing to get the common people on your side of things, should it come to that, you also create just a very wonderful narrative-based story. I'm going to ask you: do you write sort of an all-encompassing like one-off, or is this the beginning of a series?
This will be the beginning of a series, short, like they used to release books as chapters, essentially, and that's probably about all I have time to write and sleep tonight.
I would say you would probably have more luck, and it's up to you what you want the actual like manuscript to be. But I would say you'd probably have more luck writing a play, because
Okay.
more common folk would be able to go and see a play and understand it than would be able to pick up a book and read.
Okay, I will do that then. But I want the like manuscript sent still to like printing presses. I want it everywhere.
Absolutely. What pseudonym do you use?
What is the name? There's like a goddess of wisdom.
Brandy Sanderskunk.
Zephrya, obviously. The most wise goddess.
Paisha, the goddess of passion.
Okay.
We've got Famone, the god of hunger. Vinsa, the goddess of survival. Rova, the goddess of migration. Valira, the goddess of protection. Those are the 5 ardors.
I will write it under kind of like the artist formerly known as Prince. It just Arialva.
Lady Basil picks it up and looks it over, and she's like, a single name. Good choice.
Thank you.
She takes the manuscript and goes off to begin making copies and getting it to people who will make copies and distribute.
Yes, she doesn't do that.
What about the rest of you? Pockle, you find yourself in kind of unfamiliar territory in this very lavish castle, but at the same time, the fact that it is sort of constructed and follows the natural flow of this large tree almost makes it more comforting.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go down to, speaking of the people, go down to the pub, hang out with whoever's around, buy some drinks for people, whatever, and see if anyone else is gonna make their way down there. But
For sure. Go ahead and roll a d8.
6.
Yeah, mark off 6 gold as you...
We have gold in this campaign?
Unfortunately, you wrote a character who kind of has to worry about it.
I don't know.
Do I have any?
Worried about how much money he has.
I have 15 gold pieces,
Yeah.
by the way.
I would say that you probably also had 15 to start with, Pockle.
Okay.
I will say at this point, Lady Basil will give Azalea some pocket change of about 200 gold.
Hell
to
Oh, I have 500.
Nice. She gives you 200. She doesn't ask how much you have. She's just like, for your travels.
Here's some allowance.
Nice.
Being in your on your home turf
Although
helps
I
out
guess-
with that. Unfortunately, Hugin, at this point, if any gold that you wish to accrue, you'll probably have to sell some of your like jewelry and belongings and trinkets in order to have money.
Death stare. No, I've got 125. I'm alright.
Nice.
What does Hugin get up to that evening?
Hugin wants to sneak into Liliana and Ash's place.
Oh, right.
You're not gonna knock check in on them. You're
No,
gonna.
I gotta test it out.
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
I thought that you were saying that because you were actually going to go, like, sneak into Sir Rob's room.
That is a 24.
As you're walking through, you have this constant, there's like this constant nice breeze blowing through, and you find yourself kind of wondering where that is coming from, and you notice these cleverly disguised vents that kind of fill the entire space that are just kind of like, most of them placed up and behind like a statue, or some of them are even like behind paintings that as you get closer you can see that they're actually, the paintings are actually like have thin slits cut through them that the air comes through as well. You make your way through and kind of climb up into one of those vents and quietly make your way through until you find yourself looking through the eyes of a portrait into a room where
Beak?
no, it's like probably one eye, like switching sides. As you are looking into a room where you see Dame Liliana, still kind of, she's actually at this point has been changed from rags into, she's wearing just kind of like a robe. It's like nice and silken, and she's like sort of laying in this like big, like luscious couch that they've piled up pillows to make more comfortable for her. And then nearby on a cot is Sir Rob, who is also laying down already asleep at this point. And you can see, because he's like missing an ear and
Hand.
a hand as well, a paw. And you see Lady Ash is kind of like kneeling over and like blotting some of the blood away from around his wounds as he rests, and just kind of like taking care of both of the two of them in this space by herself.
Can I open the painting? Is there like a...
Yeah, you see hinges actually on your side, so you grab it and see that it actually, the painting opens inward, but the frame itself remains on the wall.
I'm gonna just open that up and be like, knock knock. I should probably get that fixed.
Ash like jumps and pulls a sword.
And just like close it behind me. I was like, that's very creepy, you know. You just look through
Yes,
the
that
portrait.
is very creepy. Hello, welcome back.
Glad to see that you all made it here.
Yes, we had a bit of a spot of trouble, but we were able to overturn a number of the chariots that were following us, and that kind of caught up the others, and we were able to get away just in time.
I expect nothing less.
How was your journey here? Did you run into any similar issues?
Yes, it was a bit touch and go there for a little bit, but we managed to get away and into the Vale Hollow without too much trouble.
Good. Is there anything I can do for you, help you with?
Just wanted to check on you all. I had heard that you guys were in Vale Hollow.
Yes, we made it safely. My mother has brought us in through the gates, met us at the gates, and we were lucky enough to run into a scouting group of House Vulpus, and they recognized myself and Liliana.
I'm gonna go over and like take the rag from her and like continue cleaning up Sir Rob.
Yeah.
And
Bringing it down his washboard abs as he rests.
Oh no, he didn't even get stabbed there.
Gotta wipe away all this blood.
Oh no.
He kind of like stirs a little bit, and one of his eyes you see is kind of like swollen shut. The other one kind of like peeks open as he looks up and sees you, and he's like, my lady, my queen. And he's like starts to try and like lift himself up.
no, I push him down and shush him and just continue talking to Ash. We've kind of come up with a bit of a plan. Turns out Rasbandalor was the previous, is it Rain King?
Rain Lord.
Rain Lord. The previous Rain Lord of Duneburrow. And was ousted by his brother, who is now the current one.
Interesting.
So,
At this point, you see Ash has come over. She's got 2 glasses of wine. She hands one to you. And, like has a little seat next to Liliana, just like looking down and making sure that like no wounds are bleeding or anything. Very very protective of her sister.
yeah, I just want to catch them up on everything and let them know like what Vandalor's deal is, because they didn't get a chance to have the communication that we did with him. And then also let them know like where we're at with King Ulfric. Is that right?
King Ulfric.
No.
The Mad King?
bear? No.
Ulrich.
Ulrich.
Yeah. King
King
Ulrich
Ulrich.
Ironhide.
And yeah, our plans there.
Would you prefer if I could probably gather up Quartz and a few of the others that came back with us, and we could maybe attempt to infiltrate House Arctos as you make this trip to Duneburrow? Perhaps we could have helpful forces waiting for you on your arrival.
I think that might be the smartest because part of me was thinking it would be best if we combined our forces, went to Duneburrow together, but not knowing what it is that our enemies are up to, perhaps it would be best if we split up and kept an eye on both fronts.
Certainly. You feel a gentle pressure on your wrist, and you look down and see that Sarab, with his remaining hand, his sword hand, has kind of like grabbed your wrist and is looking up at you. I think I should go with you to Duneburrow, my queen.
Not in the state. You've done too much already, Sir Rob.
It's fine. I can go to the Temple of Zephrya for healing in the morning, and I can still swing a sword. Maybe not as fast, but...
Which paw did he...
his left paw is the one that got removed. He still has his...
Which hand is dominant?
Right hand.
Right.
He still has his sword arm. The issue is that he typically uses a great sword, which takes 2 hands.
Yeah.
But he can still swing a sword.
Which means, like, any other sword is going to be light as a feather. He's going to be faster than ever.
Yeah.
But it's a different fighting
I
style.
know,
It's
Ryan.
different.
You said he's right-handed, sorry? Oh, he's got his right hand still?
Yes.
Okay.
He's proficient. He's proficient with other weapons.
Yeah.
I kind of touch the wrist on his left arm and I will visit every injury that Armadillo placed upon you, upon him tenfold.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to help.
Soon enough. I don't know that I can even convince you to stay here.
Nah, I'll probably come after you.
We'll see where you are in the morning.
Right. Kind of like winces and adjusts himself a little bit and falls back into the slumber.
Any other news I should know about, Lady Ash?
Nothing that I've picked up on, honestly. I know that Lady Basil has some work to do in convincing Queen Willa, Shade Fang, in getting her to be outspoken against the High King, but obviously doing so will put Vale Hollow in a tense situation with our positioning between Timberhaven and Brittle Hill Run. But if myself and Quartz and a small group of others can infiltrate Brittle Hill Run and make our way to King Ulrich and bring him to our side, that would put this half of the continent on our side. She might be more willing if we can successfully get them to our side.
I am aware that your mother was quite the war hero, but do be careful. Apparently, more than one party has gone in to do the same thing and not returned.
Yes. I've heard that a number of scouts and envoys have not made the trek safely. I would imagine that has something to do with those who are loyal to the sons, the princes of Arctos, the ones who have taken up in your keep in Howlheart, the south.
You can raise up. Rag.
Yeah. I would like to try, especially if we take a small group, maybe one that's more quiet and used to laying low, but able to defend themselves if it comes to it. My offer to King Ulrich would be bringing forces from Vale Hollow to recapture Howlheart. And I don't know how your trek to Duneburrow is going to go, or how long you'll be away, but if you would like, we could wait for your return. It is your rightful home.
I would like that, yes.
We can do this. She actually like kneels down and bows to you.
I bow my head to her and say, I am in your debt, Lady Asha. I owe you gratitude for everything that you've done for us.
If you hadn't gathered me, and those others, I would have gone headlong to that execution and gotten myself killed like a fool walking into their trap. But thanks to you, bringing us all together. My sister still breathes. I am just as much in your debt. She finishes her wine.
Cheers to her and do the same thing. And I will take my leave of them.
Yeah, you do so. Going out the door this time.
Yeah.
And
Painting's still open.
that night you all find your rest. The next morning, you awaken feeling rested. No one is assassinated in their sleep, thankfully.
That's good, because I slept with many guards.
Just a couple of off-screen deaths, no problem.
You all die.
Outside.
Outside. Okay.
All right, everyone, to bed with me. It's the only way I can be safe.
But a lot of stress lately.
No. Turn around. Back abs towards me.
Knives out.
How does that work?
There's ways.
There's ways.
Well, I sleep in the middle. And then they all sleep in like a rectangle with their abs, their
Gotcha.
back
Sleeping
abs.
isn't what we were thinking about, I don't think.
Oh.
Dirty.
Sexually.
Ew.
Sexually.
Well, I pegged all of them. It is my right as queen.
Biblically.
The royal strap on.
It's time and encrusted.
Oh, I hope not. That's dangerous. Even more dangerous in this world.
Not my problem.
Oh, Jesus.
Yikes.
It would seem the royal strap-on has fused to your anus.
Oh, I forgot.
Not those jewels.
The next morning at the Temple of Zephrya, Elzor, you awaken, and what does the morning rituals and preparations look like for Elzor?
Well, the morning rituals would, involve like morning prayers to prepare my spells, ritual cleaning of myself
Great bath.
and my armor.
Yeah, preening, ritual preening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Birds can make whatever sounds they want,
Yeah.
I guess.
and when they're in private.
Yeah.
You're right, I've never seen a bird alone.
It's true.
So yeah, just like kind of ritual preparation of spells, of myself, of my vestments, things of that nature. I will make sure to prepare Zone of Truth
Nice.
today instead of something else.
Yeah, as you have gone through your rituals and preparations and are starting to kind of reaffix your armor to yourself, there's a light knocking at your door.
I'll go open the door.
You ignore it entirely.
Yeah.
I'm preening.
You go and push the door open, and standing there is Alder Drez Peckwind.
Alder. I'll bow.
Elzor. Did we say what kind of bird he was?
Woodpecker.
Nice.
He's like a full head shorter than Elzor.
Yeah, he is smaller than you, but he stands very like upright and with grace, which is accentuated by his long red tuft atop the back of his head. That
Small
kind
of
comes
stature,
straight up.
tall of authority.
Exactly.
Yes.
Elzor, I had heard that you returned. What news do you bring from Timberhaven?
I'll tell him everything that happened.
Yeah, you do so. He looks troubled, and without being prompted, as you begin telling him, he just like steps into your room, and
I'll close the door.
yeah, very like wings behind his back, and just kind of like stalking around as you go through the entirety of everything that's happened.
I'll make special notes of the augury spells that we cast. Zephrya's guidance pointing us towards certain directions and goals.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. I think a trek to Duneburrow would do you well. You should stay with this small retinue of would-be royals. If what you say is true, and you can aid them through Zephrya's light and winds to a changing of regimes in Duneburrow, this would be quite favorable for Willownest, I believe, and for Zephrya as a whole.
In addition, I feel that it is just the right thing to do as well. And that these people were betrayed by this armadillo that seized power.
Certainly. Certainly.
He is not one who can be trusted.
I'm not certain if Brother Samwise has informed you, but we do have an interesting... There's been an interesting development. We have a visitor. Upon speaking with her this morning, I am told that you already met.
Yes, we met yesterday. I had planned on using some divination magic to assert the truth of her claims or not.
Certainly. I shall bear witness. And he motions for you to lead the way.
Of course.
You lead the way out of the chamber and back to Munen's room.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping in, or rather knocking first, to make sure that she is decent. She allows you to come in, and the alder just kind of like grabs a chair nearby from a small desk and kind of sets it in the center of the room and asks her to have a seat. And do you cast the Zone of Truth?
I do. And I ask, well, so someone can willingly submit to it, like instead of saving.
Yes,
right?
she does so.
Okay. So I'll perform the spell.
Yeah. What does that look like?
Well, since it creates a zone, I'll say for the purpose of this casting like a more formal. It's not really like a ritual per se, but like I'll go through instead of just using like my symbol or whatever. I'll like mark out the zone with some maybe burnt incense or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when I cast the spell, the wind will like pick up the incense to.
Yeah, you use this, it's this sort of like special mixture of charcoal and spent incense that still has like a fragrance to it.
Mm-hmm.
And while it does leave marks on the floor, it also leaves that sort of like dusty residue that then fills this sort of dome around the space as the spell is cast. And it's like constantly swirling, like there's an ever-present wind that's keeping it there.
I'll say Zephrya will tell us the truth of your statements.
Let it be so.
Were you the mistress of King Lupin?
I was the mistress of King Lupin Ironfang of House Duneburrow, yes. And together we bore a child.
To the best of your knowledge, is this child Hugin?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
And do you have any doubts whatsoever that this is true?
No, not a single one.
And what does the magic of this look like? Like, does it seem like it's asserting the truth of her statements?
Yeah, there is no reaction. You know that within this spell, she has submitted to the magics.
Mm-hmm.
It's a constant swirling of the ash around you, but she cannot speak a lie.
Are your intentions toward Hugin in this matter favorable?
Yes, I seek what is best for Hugin and what is best for the realm.
Would you, under any circumstances, betray Hugin at the behest of any other powers?
I would have no reason to do so.
Very well. Satisfied.
The dust, it doesn't just like fall down, it actually kind of like spreads back around and continuing to swirl. What?
May the wind spread you.
Spread by the winds. It actually falls back perfectly to where it had laid first.
Well,
You all look tired.
It's cucks and sluts part deuce.
I am satisfied with your answers, and now feel comfortable introducing you to Hugin, if that is allowed. I'll look toward the alder.
The elder kind of like looks back and forth. Yes. Far be it from me to keep a mother from her child.
I'll bow.
I trust, Elzor, brother Elzor, that you will keep Munin safe in your future endeavors.
I'll do my best to protect all who Zephrya watches over.
As she does us all. And he nods and exits the room.
Thinking to myself, wish I could have asked him some questions. But
Yeah, he notably
Not at the time.
not
he
my
notably
place.
stood outside of the zone the whole time.
Oh, I figured. I figured. But not my place.
Do you lead Munin towards the castle at Arborheart?
If she is prepared.
Yeah, she looks nervous, and there's a mixture of excitement and fear, as befits one who is about to meet a child that they've never interacted with.
How can I calm her nerves without using any spell slots?
Words.
Knock her
Use
out.
your words.
Yeah, I will. I'll just use my words. I'll say,
Pull out of tin, and it's got what was the Ezekiel's magic elixir candies in it?
I got
Give her some heroin.
I got these from a strange hairless primate. So yeah, I can tell this nervousness, like you said. So I'll suggest don't be overly nervous.
Right. Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 12.
She panics.
She takes a deep breath, and her feathers kind of like ruffle around her neck before she like smooths them back out and nods that she's ready.
Okay.
The rest of you awaken at Castle Arborheart, the Castle Tree at Arborheart, and are served a lavish breakfast of all different types of bugs.
I don't eat bugs.
Oh, there are also plenty of vegetables present as well.
I
Vegetarian.
very much have a hangover.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like, alright man, you know what the worst part about not eating bugs? Fucking hangovers. Can I get,
Does eating bugs cure hangover?
oh yeah,
Oh.
I've heard.
Brass Bandolier picks up an entire watermelon and crushes it in his mouth.
Can I get some of them potatoes cubed and fried? And then, can you make a gravy without, bug lard on it?
You're talking to this like squirrel servant who's very like straight backed, and he's just like, at once. Nods.
And can I get nail too? Shit.
Certainly.
No, that's it.
Some hair of the caterpillar. And
Looking around for like, it's morning. Right?
Hugin's already got one.
Where did you? All right.
it's a breakfast
All I'm
item.
saying is, normally at breakfast you have wine.
In Duneburrow, we usually wake up and have stouts for breakfast beer. Something nice and heavy to carry you through the day. But these ales is nice.
Clink.
Splash the whole thing into his mouth. Can't express enough that Brass Bandolier is the size of a hippo.
I'm seeing this very viscerally in my head. Just him, just like the watermelon. Just like the
Yeah, he
entire mug of beer.
does a watermelon, an entire mug of beer, grabs a whole pumpkin and eats that too.
Very
Just
much.
no facing
How is
everything.
it watermelon and pumpkin season at the same time?
Arborheart, they grow all sorts of things.
I wouldn't know.
What are you talking about? You were raised
Sorry
here.
about your brother.
Right, I don't.
Thank you.
Right. We
Like-
don't bother ourselves with gardening and
Right,
things that
I
are
just
grand.
whatever shows up.
Yes.
I'm surprised Azalea would know that.
What?
that like
the
watermelons and pumpkins.
Yeah, I guess those.
Lady Basil, in an odd moment of like being a little more, I wouldn't say relaxed, but more like open than usual, is just like, probably has something to do with the servants that we get from the Riverlands. Your father was a gardener here. Your real father. It's like places a paw on your arm.
This is weird breakfast conversation.
Is it? Well, we're not allowed to talk about families and that sort of everything for everyone.
So, what about your family?
Yeah,
How are they?
dead.
Oh, unfortunate.
I'm sorry to hear
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Is there somebody you would like to take revenge upon?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You're putting it all together.
Is he perhaps a Rolly Armadillo?
Oh yeah.
oh, what did he do? Why did he do it? Do you know?
It's like,
Down the beer, slam it down. Yeah. Sword.
This one?
Oh.
You know about these?
Oh no, I ain't not that one in particular, but my pa used to make some shit like that back in the day.
So he killed your family over a sword?
No, over politics. Like people
Oh.
like, y'all got all them gemstones, all the people in charge, like,
Sure.
very much what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah. So that's how y'all keep in charge. Y'all are powerful. You do shit. You get gems, you get whatever. My pa used to make some fucking weapons that
You're saying your father, did
designed these ones?
No, not that one. I've seen others though. Yeah.
Right. I'm saying not like this weapon specifically, but the ones for fighting Beastweaver.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
There are more of these. Are they made with different gem souls?
Yeah, should work out. But
Do you know how to make them?
I don't know.
Damn.
Well, we have one, so that's a good start.
It's not a bad beginning.
I assume he heard what was happening, sent people down to Riverlands. You know.
The doors to the dining area kick open, and the same squirrel as earlier, who you gave your order to, quickly rushes over and sets down your various potatoes and ale before rushing back over to the door and straightening up. Now presenting Brother Elzor of the Temple of Zephrya and his honored guest. And he steps to the side. Elzor, you kind of like step in a little wearily. Mm-hmm. And you all see standing next to him is a small raven who she has just sort of like a tuft of white at like where the neck meets the chest, and she's wearing kind of like simple brown clothing, typical among commoners. It's a little flowy and loose, and like a white, kind of off-white dress that dangles around down past her legs.
I'll walk in.
She follows behind nervously.
Morning.
Good morning. I have brought a guest that I would like to introduce to you, but perhaps not in such a public forum. Would it be possible to send, well...
Lady Basil raises a paw. Servants, make your exit. Guards, stand at the door outside. There's like a lot of shuffling as probably a good like 15 people leave the room.
I'm trying to decide if it would be more polite to make this revelation to Hugin in private versus just like within the group here, or not.
That's up to you.
I definitely kind of look like I'm about to get up for a second, and then
Lady
just, like,
Basil
push
does.
you back down.
Lady Basil does that. The doors close behind you, and so currently it's the group of the four of you, as well as Brass Bandalar. Sarab is here as well as Dame Liliana and Ash and Lady Basil.
Is there like a side chamber or like somewhere where Hugin and we can speak in private?
Hugin is willing. Yes, there's a chamber in the back that a hallway that leads to the kitchens.
She looks at you kind of quizzically, and the woman with you, and follows.
The three of you sort of go through this back door into this small corridor, weirdly of stone, within this mostly like arboreal wooden space. But there's this like little servants' tunnel that leads. You can hear like pots clanking in the kitchen down the way, but you know that you're far enough away that nobody would really hear you down there.
I thought it would be more polite to make this introduction in private. Hugin, I was introduced to this woman. Her name is Munin. Just yesterday. And through verification of the magics of Zephrya, we have verified her claims. Munin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly. And you see as she looks, there's like this sort of warmth that she exudes. Make an insight check, actually.
18.
You see nerves. Her feathers are kind of like vibrating from how she's shaking right now. But there's also a genuine longing. You get the sense that this person has been, even before she says anything, has been waiting for this moment, looking forward to this moment for who knows how long.
Hugin starts to put a hand on a dagger.
She pulls out a knife and kills you.
No sense Hugin's story.
No more revelations.
No, she looks at you. As Brother Elsor said, my name is Munin. I knew your father some years ago. He was a patron at my bar, and she takes a tentative step forward. Do you react in any way?
I think I straighten up a little bit more.
She, seeing this, she kind of like halts and like looks down for a second before looking up. I don't know of any gentle way to say it, but Hugin, I'm your mother.
What? And I look at Elzor.
He will nod. I was suspicious at first as well, but we did verify her claims with a Zone of Truth spell that she submitted to.
I know that you're probably, not thrilled to learn that your mother is simply a bar maiden from southern Timberhaven, but what's more important is King Lupin, Iron Fang, was your father. I was perhaps his greatest mistake in besmirching his own honor. But don't get me wrong. And she steps forward and goes to reach for your hands, but stops herself, not wanting to be too familiar with you, just because of who she is. She kind of stops herself. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that anything was a mistake, but King Lupin, unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know who he was. He was married at the time already and had a young son, the Prince Skill. But he had a moment of weakness in a long campaign, and I was there to comfort him.
Hugin's just kind of reeling from this and kind of takes a step back and...
Hugin, I understand that a claim like this is
Preposterous?
a bit outrageous, yes, so...
Yes, it is. King Lupin would never have done that to Queen Cavenna.
I only ask that you have another party that you trust conduct a similar Zone of Truth to verify her claims independently.
I'm willing to submit to any questioning that you have.
You understand that your claims are not just implicating the situation at hand, but it besmirches the name of my father, of King Lupin. And he never told me in all these years?
As I said, he viewed it as his greatest misjudgment. He felt that if you knew the truth, even after Queen Cavenna's passing, that, well, the fact that he kept you by his side for as long as he did, and raised you as his own daughter, should show his true feelings. But do you know what this means, Hugin? This means you have legitimacy. You're the rightful queen of Timberhaven. By blood.
Hugin nods and then kind of shakes her head.
I do not ask that you publicly claim me as your mother, or that you rise my station in any way. I understand fully if you want me to leave and never to see me again, but you had the right to know the truth, and with King Lupin's passing, so did the oath that I made to him to keep this secret. But you deserve to know. And she looks down.
I
She
thought it
won't
best
make eye contact.
that you hear this in private before anyone in there found out about it. So far, only we and a few at the temple know of this.
Who at the temple?
Myself, my superior, and the older in charge.
Understand that puts them in danger.
Well, we're far from Willow Nest, we're always in danger, but we seek to spread the word of Zephrya and protect those who serve her.
I take her in and
Make another insight check.
that's only 14.
Yeah, you see behind the nerves, which have kind of like washed away, getting all of the information out. You can see she's relaxed a little bit. But you see a common woman who is poised and respectful, and even for the like 2 steps away from rags that she is wearing, she carries herself with grace.
You yourself are going to be in great danger if this news gets out. I will see to it that you are made safe.
Excellent. If I could, I would like to know you. If it's not too forward of me.
Hugin thinks on it a minute.
If it's danger you're worried about, I can handle myself. I've not had the easiest go of things. Your father saw to it that I was, well, for lack of a better term, watched, but protected, and I took my own actions to remain safe as well. So if it's a matter of safety that you're worried about for me, please put those thoughts out of your mind.
At least a conversation is warranted. I think we should tell the others.
As you wish. I left that to your prerogative.
Yeah, I think Hugin might be a little bit cold towards her and goes back into the dining room.
Before we enter all the way, I'll say, remember, you can have additional verification if that gives you, greater security to these claims.
It's not that I don't trust you, Elza. At this point,
I don't ask for your absolute trust.
no. No, I think we tell the others. As much as I hate to believe it, I do.
Very well.
You exit the hallway and re-enter the space. What has we don't have to like role play through all of it, but what has the kind of chatter been since they left?
I have not moved, but my ears are pinned in the direction of the door, and I'm just kind of moving things around my plate. When I hear the door open, they swivel back.
I've done maybe the opposite of that, which is I've like cast Speak with Animals again, and that same flea. I've made him kind of like dance around on the table and stuff, and I've given him the name.
Dancing around on his fallen cooked brethren.
Yeah, I'm eating the.
It's okay, most bugs
Yeah.
eat other bugs too, it's fine.
And then I've named him Gub the Bug.
Gub
yeah.
the bug?
Yeah.
Nice.
You're the only one who can hear this when he like hops out and he's like, I call this my gub things!
Little stickers. Gub the bug.
We need a GIF.
GUB. Gub.
Hey, you know how we've been texting each other our earworms lately? I think that's mine.
Is
Oh,
what?
this is my gub thing.
I'm the government, bitch!
Yeah.
Hugin and Elzor, as well as Munin, re-enter the space. You all kind of, rather, Azalea and Lady Basil kind of like snap back.
We just
Brass-
look at each other.
Yeah, Brass,
Politics.
Brass Bandalar is like slamming his fist down on the table and laughing like cacophonously at this little flea doing a dance. And he like slaps Pockle on the back and then like seems to notice as they return. He's like, ah, they're back.
Elza, would you do the honors of introducing Mother?
May I introduce Munin, Hugin's mother.
She gives like a very well practiced and well executed bow to the room. And yeah, there's like probably a moment of silence before.
Would you?
This is wonderful news.
Can
You
I
have more
insight-
family than you thought, even.
Can I insight check Hugin?
Hugin's like locked eyes with you.
We've locked.
Yeah, make an insight check.
Sorry.
Just 2 queens.
I'm gonna say this is. I'm gonna say you want a high. The higher the roll, the more I would say that you can communicate with just a look.
11.
Can I get a bit of that insight?
Yeah,
onto
go for it. Would you like me to?
Dirty 20.
Nice. Yeah, I'll
Just
let
3
you-
queens.
Would you like? Would you like me to
I'm a queen
express?
too.
And I'm whispering this to Hugo. Would you like me to express her other relation to the group, or would you prefer to keep that in your pocket?
First, I think, Hockle, you will see probably a look of discomfort and kind of like a seething disappointment, but then also an air of this is very important, this is very tense.
Yeah. I'll say,
I'd
for
say
Stone is
Azalea,
not acting beforehand, he kind of sombers up a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, I'd say Azalea, you just get the discomfort.
Well, it would appear that my mother was the mistress of King Lupin, and that I am the illegitimate heir of King Lupin.
Well, this is not so bad.
An heir is an heir.
The former High King was not even blood related to his Queen Mothers. So technically, you have, by way of the Nettlewood Grove, more of a claim to this throne than anyone else would.
Thank you for this very political analysis, Brass.
It is what I am known for.
I'll stand up and take Munin by the shoulders, and as I pass by you, I'm gonna like squeeze your arm. Well, what a pleasure to meet you. Go ahead, take a seat, please. Help yourself to anything. Just amazing that you could even find us here. How did you come about that? Nobody knows we've arrived yet.
Well, I simply found myself in Vale Hollow after being displaced from Timberhaven. I'd heard the news of all that had transpired at, forgive me if I'm incorrect, Queen Azalea.
Correct.
She gets out of the chair that you just sat her down in
Sit,
and
I
fully
just
bows.
push her back into the chair.
Yeah, she like does her best to show deference and reverence to you from the chair.
Forgive me, I was not fully aware of whom I was in the presence of.
Oh, you're the mother of a queen.
Sure.
Can
but
I would like, what I'm looking for specifically, I would like to know if she actually just happened to find herself here. It seems weird.
Well, she hasn't finished her explanation yet.
Okay.
If you'd like, I can continue and then you can inquire.
Because I have 2 questions.
Yeah, she bows deferently to you, realizing who you are, and then continues.
When I heard of what had happened at the royal wedding, and then of the capture of most of you, I quickly made my way out of Timberhaven, knowing that things were going to turn sour, and found myself in Vale Hollow, which I knew to be your homeland outside of Timberhaven. Knowing of your travels together, I had hoped that perhaps you would return, and as luck would strike, you have. I went to the Temple of Zephrya. It was the only place that I could think to go that wasn't directly related, as all of the temples of the Orders are tied and technically in service of the High King. So I came to a Temple of Zephrya, who are missionaries here, and hoped that they could place me where they needed. And Zephyr's wind seems to have guided everything right to me.
She like looks over at Elzor and smiles. You can make your insight check if you would like.
Yeah, I would like to know how likely that story seems. I would also like to know if the deference that she's showing is genuine, or is she playing it up?
Okay.
She genuflecting or genuine flecting?
Genuinely flecting.
Flex.
Okay,
flex,
maybe if I
flex.
could get it in. 13. My passive insight is a 19.
That's nice. She she seems genuine. She it seems that whether it was by happenstance or accidental, she seems convinced that it was Zephyr's winds that guided her where she needed to be.
Those winds really spread her, eh?
She really got spread by those winds.
Oh, God.
Spread
And the
right.
king.
Spread
I
right.
hate how this just continues forever.
Zephyr's winds spread her exactly how they needed to, just the right spot.
As they do all of us.
Yeah. What was your other question again?
Does that story seem likely?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a stroke of luck that but at the same time, you don't know how long she's been here. Like, she could have arrived weeks ago and has been, like, waiting for word of anything. But you don't know that.
I don't know if this is something I could suss out. Does she seem to be under the influence of anything? Anything magically?
This would be an Arcana check.
14.
No, you don't see any, like, bulges of, like, gem souls, or there's no, like, sparks or anything behind the eyes. She seems to be
Clear.
genuine and clear and here of her own will and volition. And if what Elzor says is true, then she has submitted to questioning and been proven honest.
Well, you'll have to forgive us. We're preparing for a difficult journey. To my quarters? Mother, why don't you stay here with Munin and learn something of kindness? Oh, God.
She sneers as you leave.
I look to you and I ask, would it be possible to make sure that she is protected with this information?
Easily. Mother?
Wonderful. Certainly, yes. But I mean, she will be as guarded as the rest of us are within the castle.
Alright.
I would recommend not revealing this information in the company of servants for the time being.
Oh, of course. She will be an honored guest of the
Zephrya.
Heartfire family, I believe is what we've taken.
I believe so. I was called something else, something rude. Something.
Was it like Trader Fire or something,
There's something
like
itchy. It's hard fire. I got it. It's mine.
Certainly.
To my chambers.
Who all do you
I
take
like-
with you?
Daggers into you.
Who all do you take with you?
I will take. Does is Vandalore still chowing down?
He's finished most of the food within arm's reach.
Are you still hungry, or
That can be done.
you don't have to be?
Is Ash just like eyeing that down?
It's like,
No, I'm good. Why? Can I come too?
Sure.
Alright.
I'll take anybody who
Stands
is
up.
planning on traveling with us.
excellent.
So Rob,
I will see you.
All right.
I think the sisters
Yeah, Sir
are
Rob is down.
doing something else.
Right. They're
Yes.
not go to
Coming
Riddle
with us.
Hill.
Correct.
All right.
Oh yeah, is Quartz there too?
Oh yeah.
Quartz was not present at this breakfast, no.
I'm back to other stuff.
But yeah, Sir Rob was present, and he'll join you as well.
All right.
As you guys are kind of walking through the halls towards Lady Azalea's chambers, Rob kind of leans into you, Hugin, and quietly, as you're making your way down, kind of like at the back of the group between some guards, just leans down and he's like, "Are you doing all right? Seems like it was kind of like a big thing kind of sprung on you there."
Just a bit. I'll be fine, Mr. Rob. Thank you.
Well, if I may, if you're suspicious or maybe unsure about, her motives or why she's here, something that we always learn in battle tactics is that sometimes it's best to keep your enemies or potential enemies by your side. Maybe, I know it's dangerous, but I could keep an eye on her if you wanted to bring her with us.
It might be for the best. Yes, I needed her to, at least for the time being, think that we're all in on that idea. But I would like some more time alone with her to figure out just what all of this is about and whether or not it is true.
Yeah. And yeah, he kind of like quietly continues on next to you as you all enter Lady Azalea's chambers.
There's chairs.
Yeah, there's tons of like fainting couches and just like piles of pillows and shit all over. It's very like if a fox's den was made for royalty.
I definitely do the Riker, like, sit on the chair.
Flip it around.
Yeah.
Do the big leg
Yeah.
kick over the back? Absolutely.
I just keep standing and lean against a wall. Kind of
Brass
lost in
Bandolier
thought.
falls onto a pile of pillows that don't have a couch under them.
Feathers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trust
not
me.
feathers. No, they're donated.
Yes, yes.
Bug,
Donated
bug
feathers.
wings. Bug wings?
Crunch.
It's donated feathers.
Yeah. We paid top dollar for the best feathers.
Trust me, it would have been worse if I chose a couch.
I have no doubt of this. Interesting news.
If true.
Big
Which-
if true.
Big if true, yes.
As far as I can tell, it is true. I recommended independent verification, of course. I don't
Yes.
expect you to believe me when I walk in here with a brand new person and thrust them and this revelation into the current political landscape, but this is what I found out yesterday, and you all had the right to know.
You say you verified too, right?
Yes,
Even-
I used a Zone of Truth spell, which he submitted to.
Even the part about the king?
Did I ask that? I did.
I don't remember.
I was actually thinking about that earlier. I was like, did I actually ask her if the king was her father when I was asking her those questions?
I know that you
Yes,
asked.
yes. You asked if she produced, if I don't remember the exact wording, but you asked if Hugin and King Lupin had a child together. I believe.
Munin.
Munin. Sorry.
Gotcha.
And that
Hugin has
child
had
was
children with
Hugin.
Right. And I verified that she was not under the influence of any other powers, that she was not capable of betraying you, things of that manner.
That is
I-
wild.
I ran through all the questions that I could think of to vet her safety and truthfulness.
Could you do this again? Maybe we put our heads together, come up with some more questions, and
I can, of course, for sure. And if you have anyone else capable of casting that spell locally, then you could know that it's not just me.
It's not your magic that's in question here. We have full faith in that. But
She can only answer to what she believes to be true.
and
She does believe it to be true.
there is certain word crafting that can be done within the Zone of Truth as well. With enough cleverness, one can evade lies.
And more so, we don't want to tip her off that we don't believe her.
Well, I mean, even if she were not telling the truth and were some sort of an agent, she would expect you to be suspicious of a claim like this,
Oh, sure.
even with my verification.
There's no good that'll come out of raking her over the coals.
Is it possible that you can cast the Zone of Truth without somebody knowing?
I don't really have a way to hide the effects of the spell, per se. I mean, we could...
Say if one was in a carriage or something.
Oh, if they walked into it.
An affected
I'm just-
creature is aware of the spell
Yeah.
and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie.
And I don't have any, out of game, I don't have any way to, make that not the case. It's not like a sorcerer where you can subtle spell it.
I
or
mean, it's
something
also
like that.
even if you had multi-class a sorcerer and had subtle spell,
Yeah.
they wouldn't see that you cast it, but they would still know that it was cast.
Right, because of the wording of the spell.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the nature of the spell makes them aware of it.
but perhaps if we ask a question that is specific enough, we could trip them up if they don't answer. If it's a question that only has one answer that has to be the truth. If they hesitate or they do not answer, then we would know that they're lying about something.
Certainly. So, if you want to craft very specific questions ahead of time, I'm happy to repeat the spell, and as long as she submits to it as before, then we can ascertain the truth of any statements that you wish to have her make,
I think-
or answer any questions.
For now, and Hugin, I know that this is difficult. Her lie is useful. And no good comes for us of catching her in it. at the moment. And she'll be trapped with my mother for several days to weeks.
I was thinking, and forgive me if it's not my place to speak up, but I thought it might be more advantageous for us if we kept her nearby. Because, you know, any moment that she's out of sight of this group is a moment that other forces could be taking her or attempting to take her. Or, I mean, she could even be up to something even more nefarious that we don't know about. I feel like the best way to keep an eye on her would be to bring her with us.
I did caution her as to the danger such a situation presents to her making this revelation, inserting herself in a dangerous political turmoil.
Right, I would have to imagine that, she seemed smart and put together. She probably was aware of what she was getting herself into.
My assessment is that she did not come forward out of any desire for personal gain, but rather to help you solidify your claim.
So Rob is correct, though, in that if we keep her close, we can, one, keep her alive, along with the knowledge that I am the heir of House Duneburrow, as well as if she does happen to be lying and is possibly a plant from the armadillo,
Are
just to
there
have her close, then
officials that we should clue into this revelation so that if something were to happen to her, the knowledge of your rightful role, your rightful claim, doesn't pass with her?
You said your Alder knows of this, or Alder? I always get them confused.
It's
Yes.
Arthur.
It's his Alder is his rank.
Alder. Arthur?
I thought.
Alder.
Alder.
His name is Alder Drez Peckwind. He heads the temple. However, I am aware that as missionaries we don't carry voice of authority within your realm.
I see.
So my suggestion was to make whoever is in authority aware of the truth of this so that it can stand.
so perhaps we have Queen Willa at the next time we question her, Eamon.
As long as you feel you can trust her to assist in the safety of this woman.
Rob
Mother.
speaks up.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
My breath is getting cold, but I'm gonna be honest here. This changes nothing for me. I agreed to follow you, try to help save your brother. Sorry that didn't happen, but I'm with you still. So I'll be back and go downstairs. Eat.
Papa leaves the room.
But don't forget Gab.
And we trust that one, yeah?
You know, he seems like he's on his own mission, but it's not against ours.
Yes. Yeah, he does seem to want that armadillo dead. Which I guess,
But
we're
we
all
all
in the same
want
boat there.
Anyone who wants that is a friend of mine.
Someone else was going to talk.
I was like, oh yeah, I was going to speak up there. Lady Basil, she heard the announcement, and it's my understanding that she's not coming with us, right?
Correct.
So as long as she stays here and is safe in the castle, then there's somebody out here who knows. But I mean, her relationship to the High Queen might make her less likely to be believed.
Yes. Unfortunately, the truth and what is being paraded as the truth are two different things in this empire currently. So.
Right. Well, is there anyone else that you trust that's high up enough?
No.
So Queen Willow?
Queen Willa, I mean,
Willow?
I don't
Willow
know. I've never met Queen Willa personally. I guided the High King at a couple of his councils with his councils of five, and I've seen her, but I've never spoken to her. I'm standing outside mostly. From what I hear, though, it's Lady Basil who does most of the actual governing here in Vale Hollow, while Queen Willa's out, making appearances and doing other stuff.
It's true.
The practicality may be thus, but the titles still carry authority, and if she were to speak on Hugin's behalf in this matter, that would carry weight throughout the Empire, I feel.
Perhaps your mother is on Council of Five to Queen.
Correct.
Maybe if she gets the other four?
The difficult thing here is that if it is a lie, under any circumstances, whether she knows it or not, if it is discovered to be a lie, we're fucked. If it's the truth, as difficult as that may be, we just get the noble ladies of the Council of Five to bring her into the fold, to make her a real noble lady. Or at least, by all appearances, and she's already well-spoken, well-educated. They'll just want to help, because it makes them look better. People will always go for that option.
Arborheart has been a good ally to Hellheart.
It's not good for them that Timberhaven... Yes, that Hellheart and Timberhaven aren't currently on their side.
Your ear is drooping.
It does that. Must be the raccoon genes.
Sign of domestication.
They'll do whatever they have to do to try and get allies back in Hellheart. Whether that's through me or you, it's really not. That's not the important thing here. I just got very lucky that it would be helpful for me to not be treasonous. I think our best bet for now is to keep this within Arborheart, but circulating throughout Arborheart. Do you know what I mean?
Or if you're brilliant playwright.
I mean, what works, works. That said, Elzor, I don't mean to imply anything of Zephrya, but people are people. How well do you trust your compatriots in the church?
Well, I have the utmost faith in Brother Samwise, my direct superior. And I show respect and deference to Alda Dres Peckwind.
But he's kind of a dick.
Your words.
And it seems that the Church of Zephrya is having trouble getting foothold here in the Nettlewood Grove.
It's a slow process. I mean, religions take time to spread,
Would,
as it were.
if only the wind could help.
It does.
Forgive me for saying so. Seems like it would be helpful to the church if one of the queens of the Nettlewood Grove was the daughter of somebody enmeshed in the Church of Zephrya.
I admit it does have a favorable appearance towards us, and thus why I expressed that it might be a good idea for you to have your own verification performed of her claims outside of what I have already done. I know that even the appearance of impropriety in this case could be disastrous. So,
I'll be honest, I have no problem with appearances. Love them. But I don't love being jerked around.
understandable.
Would you all be willing to meet with me? With us?
Do you think that is a wise choice? You're kind of on the run. It was my understanding that because Queen Willa has not spoken out against the High King, that we're pretty much only safe in the castle, right?
Oh, I believe they should come here.
Ah.
I don't think we should...
Well, but they would still know that you are here. If
The
this...
church clearly already knows that we're here. They sent somebody to meet with Hugin.
this is true, this could be more reason for us to leave more quickly than...
I mean, I didn't reveal that the rest of them were there. Well, I
That's
guess
true.
I did tell the elder everything that happened, so I did reveal that. Yes.
So we might as well make sure that they're allies.
Should we do that or should we leave? My instincts are saying, run away.
I have been given permission to accompany you to Duneburrow, bound if need be, but
This is good.
I serve here at your convenience and in an advisory capacity, so it is your decision.
If we reclaim Duneburrow in your name, would you happen to have people there that would also be able to corroborate the story between us?
Yes?
So that would be just one more.
Yes, Pluvenia offers similar boons as this Zephrya.
I mean, if you have any paladins available, they would also likely be able to verify the truth of any claims.
I agree that discovering the truth is important. I do. The truthiest truth, the juiciest of truths. I think putting pressure in this situation could be bad for us. I think obviously she knows we're suspicious. But right now, she knows we're suspicious, but kind of on her side, right? If this is all a ruse by your alder, or more, it could be bad for them to think that we're vehemently denying the situation. Could be better if we make it seem as though we're protecting this person until further notice.
Precisely. I have no intentions of denying what it is that she's claiming. Just that once we get to Duneburrow and reinstate Lord Bandalar here, then it would behoove us to have that claim strengthened again.
Precisely.
Thinking back to my interactions with the Alder, do I have any suspicion that he is manipulating this or that he is behind it or anything like that?
Make an insight check with disadvantage. I will also say, if you guys are looking for a paladin, Dame Liliana is a high-level paladin.
And she'll be here for a while.
That's what
She could just do it out.
I was pushing for that, but
She get 220.
30.
That was a 19 and a 20.
I would say everything inside of you is telling you that Zephrya's judgment should be trusted and that her guidance will spread you where you need to go. But something about the fact that the Alder always seems to be trying to get rid of you. He's always sending you off on different missions across the Nettlewood Grove. And the fact that he himself willfully stood outside of your zone of truth during the questioning has planted a seed of suspicion in your mind. You don't know for certain how far he would go, but you don't think that inviting him to the castle to meet with these people is a good idea.
Again, I have all respect and deference for the Alder. However, as a faithful advisor to you, I must suggest against inviting him here.
Easily done.
I don't believe that he is behind the emergence of your mother or has influenced her claims, but I
You think he might capitalize on it?
think there are many things that he could do. And I don't think inviting him here is a wise course of action.
I trust the owl.
As well.
I say that we head off to Duneburrow as soon as possible in that case. Your mother is our witness to Enan's testimony.
I agree. And I think perhaps we have Liliana before they take off on their own mission. Do some further questioning as casually as possible, just checking up on a few things. now and then, making sure the story doesn't change. That's not unfair to do, and we won't be here to add heat to the fire. Fuel, that's the phrase. Fuel to the fire.
And what do you
Oh,
think?
you mean of leaving Munin here with them?
I think there's no safer place she could be than under my mother's constant eyes.
Oh, I still think it'd be safer if we brought her with us. Personally.
Isn't she she doesn't, to our knowledge, not a fighter.
I haven't seen a fight. I just met her this morning.
To my knowledge, you weren't a fighter either.
Well,
She did tell you, Hugin, that she can take care of herself, but you don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't want to bring that up just yet. I'm
Hugin, I'll leave it to you. Can you tolerate being in his space for that long?
I'd rather be in it to figure out what it is that she's up to, if there are other intentions here, than not.
What? She'll come along.
So, what do you do first? Do you get Dame Liliana and interrogate, or what's the plan?
In my opinion, I don't think we should interrogate. She just had one this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I think anything we ask now is going to be the same
Yep.
answer. I'd like to see time pass.
Yeah. Do you guys head back to the breakfast chambers where Pockle's
Yeah, we gotta collect
Yeah.
the possum.
When y'all come back, I'm actually like fully more put together. I have like all my clothing and armor back on, everything like good to go.
Yeah.
Just
Also,
like,
as
hey
you
y'all.
as you guys are coming down the hallway, before you even step
you.
inside, you hear the faint sound of a melody reverberating through the halls. And stepping into the chamber, you see Pockle, who gives you a hearty hello. He's more put together. And you see that Munin has actually taken up a lute and is playing a little tune that swells as you enter. And she kind of like looks up and nods and gives a little smirk and a wink to Hugin, and you get bardic inspiration.
Yay! Hugin is so suspicious, but McCall loves it. Happy.
Y'all walk in, I'm like, we doing any red side today? I like that word.
We say those things in more private
No?
chambers usually. Usually, you can say them, just, smaller room.
Y'all let me know when.
I'll let you know. But yes. Maybe. Well, we're on our way. Maybe. Unless you're planning on committing regicide.
You're heading out, I presume, then?
Likely. Mother, would you mind collecting some items for Munin should be joining us?
Oh, yes. Is that all right with you, Munin? She actually kind of like puffs up a little bit with excitement, and she's like, yes, I had hoped that would be the case.
And I'll kind of follow her to the hall as she goes to collect the things. We'd like you to put this earworm into the heads of the council, but only within the council.
Only those I trust within the council.
You know best.
I can do this.
We'd like to see what their thoughts are on it. Obviously, it's ideal for all of us to have allies in Halhart.
Do we want the quiet ones, or the ones who will spread the information?
Quiet for now. I'll send correspondence if it seems like we can.
Excellent. There are those I trust within the council to do both.
Additionally, Lady Ash, Dame Ash, and
Lady Ash.
Lady Ash,
Dame Liliana.
Dame Liliana. Titles.
Well, if it
Which
makes you
titles matter if not High Queen?
if it makes you feel any better, she just prefers Ash.
Right. Regardless, they'll be going on their own reconnaissance mission in Riddle Hill.
Riddle Hill Run
Riddle Hill Run.
to rendezvous with King Ulrich and bring him to our side, I hope.
Correct. I'd like you to provide them with anything that they need on this.
This can be done.
Is that all the things? Oh, do you have any more of that good poison?
I believe I do have one use lying around. Yes. I don't have it on me.
Can I have it?
I'll have it brought to your chambers before you leave.
Just
Can
bring
you
it to every
label
meal.
it in some way?
Uh,
Not obviously, just, put like a little heart on it or something
It
so
would be
I
the
know
black
it's the bad
vial.
one. Great.
Get
Anything
you some
else?
of that good.
It's not good.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Keep the doors open. Find a way to let me know if you have to flee for any reason. I'm anxious about it.
Right.
I think those are all the big things.
If anything dire happens, I shall make my way towards the Duneburrow border.
As much as I hate to say it, I think our best method of travel will be by foot, so I don't think you'll need to prepare a carriage.
It's quite a long trek.
Do you think we can get a carriage out subtly?
I think we could get a carriage out from here subtly. I think it could carry you
Most of the way.
most of the way. Once you
Alright.
near the border, you're going to have to figure something else out because it's a separate nation entirely, and we are technically at war with them. So,
Ooh, not as important for me because I can disguise myself magically, but disguises for everyone else, I think, should be prepared.
if you want to write out specifics,
I will do so.
excellent.
You were seen at the execution.
You were all seen at the execution.
Yeah, we were all seen.
That was a spectacle.
Would I consider it proper to disguise myself?
I mean, that's up to you. You are aware that you were seen.
I just meant like
Is it allowed?
yeah, as a church official, is it proper to go in disguise, or would it be considered?
I think this is a moment in Elzor's mind that you're kind of pulled in two different directions. Your heart tells you that the winds of Zephrya will spread you as they will. And anything you do to aid that can only be beneficial. And then there's another part of you, a deeper part that you've locked away, that urges you to follow that path. And I'd say what you choose is up to you.
So, well, if you insist on disguises, then
I do.
then I will follow your leads.
I think we should all be devoted followers of Zephrya for the time being.
Wonderful. Then I will take this opportunity to educate you all more in the church so that you can better present yourselves as such.
I understand, but it's going to be the easiest way for us to pass through borders.
Unless we disguise ourselves as devout followers of Pluvenia.
That's going to be very hard through most of the Netherwood Grove.
Oh, sure.
But once we get to Duneburrow,
Right, I was thinking of the border crossing specifically.
right, I mean through most of the Netherwood Grove, I think
Yes.
Zephrya is fairly accepted here.
Should we gather any other supplies, potions or anything?
I think anything we can get our hands on without leaving.
Can we get health potions?
You can.
Can I make poison?
Potions?
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and make some rolls. Any preparations that you guys want to do? Grabbing some health potions. You can grab some potions of minor healing that are going to be 100 gold pieces each.
Ooh.
Got 9 gold.
I'll give you some cash.
Would I be able to requisition any potions just from the temple before we leave? As traveling supplies?
Make a luck check. You want to roll a 13 or higher.
I'll give you 50.
Still can't buy
You
anything.
get half a potion.
16.
16? Yeah, you requisition, we'll say, standard travel fare for a single missionary would be 2 minor healing potions.
Oh yeah, you can send people.
Honestly,
What?
the
You can
potions.
send servants. You don't have to go get things yourself. Just ask.
I would also say you guys are aware that the price of health potions has inflated a bit as war times have spread across all of the Nettlewood Grove. More resources are being
Seems a bit
diverted.
much. Yes.
to
They
the front
would,
lines.
wouldn't they?
Elzor, I had intended to use the potions for you if you were to go down in battle, seeing as how you are the most powerful healer among us.
Ah, well, I appreciate that. I mean, if others require healing first, definitely. Then, whatever strategy dictates.
Should I buy one? Yeah, why not? I'm gonna do it.
Excellent. Anything other than potions? You said you were going to make some poisons.
Yeah.
Do you have rules in your character sheet for this?
Yeah, with 1 hour of work using a poisoner's kit and expending 50 gold worth of materials, you can create 3 doses of potent poison.
There you go. You've definitely got the time. You can do so, no roll required.
We probably just have some, like, non-ostentatious armor and clothing around, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that can be easily procured.
I'll make sure that there is some for everyone that just looks plain as can be, or would at least be easy to dress up as that of Zephrya's legions.
Excellent. As you gather your things, the carriage is drawn. What's this one pulled by?
I'll let Josh pick. He's the bug guy of the season.
I'm not in charge of the carriage.
I trust you to pick bugs. It seems kind of like
What
your
would
thing.
this one be?
We've done millipedes and
Millipedes
moths
are always fun. Cricket would be too jostly.
and loud.
Yeah. Millipede, I feel like, is a good one.
You gather up some millipedes are gathered from the stables and latched up to your carriage for you. You all pile in. It's a rather large-sized carriage so that you don't have to split up and risk getting separated again. But you all pile in. It's cozy, but manageable, and set off out from Arborheart. Lady Basil says her goodbyes and hugs Azalea tightly, which is weird.
And pat her on the back.
Excellent. Exiting the Nettlewood Grove and getting into Duneburrow will be no small feat. The best bet that you guys have is staying within Vale Hollow. However, there is a very narrow passage from Vale Hollow to the Duneburrow borders that passes right through the most contentious part of the country right now, which is a narrow strip of land between Timberhaven and Riddle Hill Run. Do you take that path, or do you divert and try to go like through Timberhaven more so? What is your plan?
So the Bleachwood Holt, the borders have been closed.
The borders to the Bleachwood Holt have been closed since the Tournament of Champions.
Do we know, is that still true to, like, missionaries even?
I would say you don't know.
Would Elzor know?
And we're trying to go through.
So you guys are currently in Arborheart.
Armor.
Getting to Duneburrow is this top left country, so you would have to go all the way across this little strip of Vale Hollow to get to the border there, which theoretically could be your safest bet because you wouldn't have to deal with any border crossings within the Nettlewood Grove.
It's all
However,
like forested area the whole way, right?
yeah, the issue is that there is a lot of conflict between Timberhaven and the forces of Riddle Hill Run, and even the forces of Vale Hollow themselves in that strip, because of the civil war that is ongoing at this point in time. You've got forces from the High King that are leaving from Oakreach that are attempting to quell this rebellion of Riddle Hill Run. There are sympathizers to the Prince that are sort of along that border of Riddle Hill Run that are keeping anyone from exiting that is, siding with King Ulrich, which is why the scouts haven't been able to get through. But there's also members, the princes themselves have taken up residence in Howlheart Keep to the south. So while the High King is also being pressed from both sides, Vale Hollow is caught in the middle of that and has refused to choose a side. So there's tons of, illegal border crossings happening between, or rather, they're not technically illegal for the High King. His forces can go wherever in the Nettlewood Grove they wish.
Are the borders between Vale Hollow and Riddle Hill Run being patrolled too?
So yeah, that's another kind of contentious area, is that Vale Hollow is refusing to speak out against the High King, so some of their forces are actually still being called in as reinforcements for the High King's army, because he is the emperor of this space. So technically all the standing armies here have to serve him. That's the main reason that Lady Basil wants to get King Ulrich Ironhide on their side, so that if they have the backing of the Bears, then both can speak out against the High King, and unless the Bleachwood Holt comes to his aid, it would be two nations against a smaller force whose forces are made up mostly of those nations. So it's very messy, and that little strip of land is where a lot of skirmishes are happening between the High King's forces and the bears that are revolting. However, that being said, if you wanted to cut through Timberhaven, you would have to contend with not one, but 3 border crossings. You would have to get from Vale Hollow into Timberhaven, then you would have to get across the river, which is even more challenging because unless you get out and swim and risk your chances, which most of you are non-aquatic creatures aside from Brass, you'd have to find a crossing point, which is going to be controlled definitely by Timberhaven forces. So you'd have to cross there and get into the Bleachwood Holt, which, as far as you know, the borders are closed, and then across the Bleachwood Holt to the border with Duneburrow. So you risk going through fighting, or you risk fighting to get through. Or alternatively, you could pull a weird move, and you could go to the Riverlands and cross those borders, and then go around through. If you go to the world map,
I was thinking go to Riddle Hill Run and go up.
Oh, interesting. That would also be dangerous because that's where a lot of the bears are stationed that are revolting. But you could also pull a weird move and you could go into the Riverlands and then loop all the way around through Willownest into Duneburrow, but that seems pretty roundabout and also dangerous, unfamiliar territory.
Just saying, they ain't looking for us in Riddle Hill Run, you know. If we can disguise ourselves by some means, not necessarily bears, but something else that's like from there.
I think the most neutral party right now.
Didn't the bears try to murder your whole family? I think
Yes.
they would probably recognize you and want you dead.
Right, but
Right.
You were saying we can look like other people or some shit, right?
Exactly.
Oh, right, if we are disguised.
Right.
Maybe we disguise as bears.
But everyone's looking for people in Vale Hollow and Timberhaven. They ain't looking for people up in Riddle Hill Run,
Right,
you know?
because it's been too busy and hectic.
If that is the case, do we want to maybe just hit Ulrich Ironhard on the way?
Nah.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
Well, if we
I don't mean take him out, I mean get him to our side. We get to him.
I mean, if we take Dame Liliana and Ash
May
in
as
court
well.
and then split off at that point and have them go talk to the king while we continue on to Duneburrow, that's a
I'm
possibility.
gonna.
Ooh.
I open the door, and I'm certain there's a guard or a servant standing right outside. I need Dame Liliana and Ash.
With you now.
Ideally.
It will be done. And the same squirrel from earlier scuttles off up the stairs.
He reminds me of someone.
R.I.P. Borgol.
I must remind you that the divination that we cast earlier did suggest our best course of action was to go to Duneburrow directly first.
I mean, what's directly me, you know? Like,
What if
That's
we were
up,
to sail
it's up to you.
south around both Timberhaven and Bleachwood Holt?
that would take us quite a while.
It's a long journey.
Yeah.
Are there naval forces that we would need to be concerned about?
One narwhal.
One narwhal?
Very big narwhal.
Those are
I'm just saying, people are fussing about whether it be Vale Hollow, Timberhaven. I imagine they're messing with people, stopping people, doing whatever. But you go to Riddle Hill,
Personally, I think that we could just.
we might
Skip
stick out
through
like a
Vale
sore
Hollow.
thumb, but
I think that we could take them if we went through Vale Hollow and hopefully on the way take out both some of the High King's men and some of those treasonous bears.
I support the two methods of Vale Hollow seems straight shot. We might run into fighting, but you know, we are simple willow nesters who are not involving ourselves. Or perhaps sailing around. It would take longer, but might be less. I mean, clearly it would be less invasive. Like we would be risking less fights from the wars that are happening, but you know, we invite perhaps piracy or.
New horse.
I hear tales of the strange bugs that swim in the seas, and some that you know
All
break
right.
ships in half with just the pinch of the claws.
Let's say, why don't we go through Vale Hollow?
just a giant lobster.
And we'll go through Vale Hollow, and if the worst happens, we'll tuck into Riddle Hill Run as missionaries of Zephrya. I mean, we stay as probably missionaries of Zephrya the whole time, but that's the guys.
I'm aligned with this.
Straight shot.
As straight as we can go.
All right. Moments later, Ash and Dame Liliana approach with like packs on, stepping up. I heard that you wanted us to come with you.
We're going to drop you off. Probably.
Oh,
Closer to Riddle Hill. It turns out we're going to be passing along the border.
excellent. Yeah, yes.
I thought it was going to be a little more complicated than that, but it turns out it wasn't.
That's all right. Yes. Well, you will have to travel through the narrow part of the country that will
Exactly.
have
So you
basically
might as
borders
well.
on either side. So
You could come in through Duneburrow.
we could.
Oh, yeah.
It seems. I like our chances better of getting through the border of Riddle Hill Run. Maybe if we do come across some fighting, taking advantage of that and laying low and sneaking past the armed forces.
That's a better idea.
Rather than fighting them, rather than having to pass into Duneburrow and then pass out of Duneburrow back into the Nettlewood Grove.
Yeah, that's
Crossing
fair.
a nation's borders is going to be much more complicated than with the kingdoms within.
That's super true. You're right. We'll drop you off on the way.
Excellent, it's appreciated. They both have servants put their things up on the back of the cart with the rest of your things, and they climb aboard. As you all set out, you ride through the most narrow strip of land, contentious within the country. As you're riding through, you pass several little military encampments that have been set up. Most of them that you see, all the ones that you clock, are flying the black and gold flag. It's literally just a black flag with a gold circle in the center, and you see the black lines kind of curve through. It seems to be depicting a curled up armadillo in gold with the lines. That you know to be the livery of the current High King Regent.
What? Like, the armadillo is on the fucking shit now?
Yeah, he had to make up his own house, because he's not technically part of House Theros, but he came to power.
He already had that prepared.
Yeah, right?
So he had to come up with his own livery.
I'd like to deliver him. By that I mean remove his liver.
I'm disguised as a bird.
Yeah, what do all your disguises look like?
Is it like the Robin Hood, like Disney's Robin Hood, where he's a stork?
I don't think I've ever seen.
I'm curious.
Sorry.
I'm curious what you've disguised Brass Bandalar as.
Pelican.
What?
A giant pelican. Oh, maybe a.
Just make him a babushka. Just a little.
What is it? Are they? Is it a shoe bill?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Nice. Yeah.
A
Like
rose.
no, no. That's not what I'm thinking of.
We could
Yeah,
give him
with
a
big old
fake
beaks.
ostrich
Yeah, there's
head.
shoe bill. The ones that like clack.
Make him
That's a spoon bill.
Spoon bill.
Are
Shoe
there,
bill.
are there whale people? Are
Yeah,
there,
a
like,
shoe bill. A shoe bill is the one that clacks
not that
its.
It looks like it has a clog for a face.
Yeah, it clacks
Yeah.
its beak together and sounds like a fucking machine gun. It's
Yeah.
a terrifying dinosaur bird.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'll advise on the various birds, bird
Excellent.
forms.
Excellent.
I'm a dove,
Nice.
the holiest of birds.
Pigeons as doves.
No.
That's true.
Goose.
Goose.
You've got big goose energy.
Yeah, goose.
Big goose energy is great.
The silliest of birds.
I'm trying to think if to disguise somebody who's already a bird, would I just put like a horse mask on over my beak?
Oh, I can't disguise other people.
You know,
So wait,
put some white-
what? Oh, are we
I can only disguise
besides
me.
yourself? Yeah. I'm
I
just
mean,
me.
we're just making our own
Hey,
disguises. Like that's,
Sparkle's just sparkle. It's fine.
that's
But I
an
could.
action we can take. It's not like part of your magic, but we would just have to roll for
Where
Yeah.
do possums normally live?
There's a lot of them in the Bleach. There's a lot of them in the Bleachwood Holt, but there's
Yeah.
also a lot of them in Vale Hollow.
Okay.
Sort of like within the Nettlewood Grove. There's a higher population of possums in the Lamella Riverlands, actually, than anywhere else in the continent.
I think with some paint, Hugin and Moonin can just
Ooh.
put some white paint on and look like magpies.
Yes.
There you
That
go.
actually
For sure.
works really well.
Hell yeah.
You don't have to be a bird to love Zephrya.
That
See?
is, that is the goal.
See? Is that what's happening too?
Proof. Undeniable truth.
Good job. I love it.
I don't play clerics.
You make a good cleric.
Thank you.
You've disguised yourselves as you are traveling through the woods. You hear an explosion. A tree trunk near your carriage cracks open and falls forward as very quickly, out of nowhere, you find yourselves caught between forces. You see a number of bears who have their archers up on a raised hill that are drawing bows with arrows knocked that send them flying out. Onto your left side, you see there's a contingency of various pumas that I would say you can see from their livery that this is forces from the High King. As you see, they also have some archers set up. Looks like they've been taken by surprise by the bears who have set up this sort of, not ambush, but they're definitely using guerrilla warfare tactics at this point, and you guys find yourselves caught in the middle.
So to clarify, it appears that these forces are battling each other. They didn't set up an ambush for us.
Correct.
Okay.
However, you are caught in the middle, which brings us to another skill challenge.
Uh-oh!
We need
Did so well on the last one.
Yeah, we need, just like last time, we need 2 successes before 3 failures. I will let you know the starting DC is 18.
Who's the most threatening to us currently?
Probably the bears because they have cannons.
Shit.
How far away from us are they? Roughly?
Oh, far away from you guys, they're roughly maybe 40 feet.
I can create a 20-foot sphere of fog. Let me see if I can make that
Said
bigger.
how far away?
About 40 feet.
40 feet? Okay.
How spread out are the cannons?
They're
Like,
pretty spread out. You this won't be towards the skill check, but go ahead and make a perception check.
That's cocked.
Kicked.
Thanks.
24.
24. You clock in the immediate vicinity. There are 3 cannons set up, and each of them is about 35 feet apart from each other. There's like one set up in a lower area that's got like bushes stacked on top of it that you see is still smoking from just firing a shot. There's one that's raised up that's covered equally by foliage. You see bears manning those with archers on either side of them. The forces are kind of spread out. There's not like a clump of them. You get the sense that the bears are sort of launching this attack on what was just a camp of soldiers that are quickly coming to arms.
Okay, so I'm going to cast this. My range for this spell is 120 feet, so I can cast it pretty far away.
Yeah, for sure.
The normal radius that it affects is 20 feet, but for every level that I upcast it, the radius increases by another 20 feet.
Oh.
So if I cast it at 3rd level, then it'll be a 60-foot radius or 120-foot diameter.
Yeah.
So I want to try to sock as many of the cannons and bears and all of that in fog as I can with
Excellent.
that fog cloud spell.
Yeah. I'm going to say go ahead and make an Arcana check, but make this at disadvantage because expanding the radius will also encompass your carriage. Because of your proximity to them, to get all of them, you can get all of them, but it will envelop you as well.
Right. Terrible. I have a 5 since we did disadvantage.
Okay.
I had a natural 20 on my other one.
Oh.
It's the most 20s I've ever rolled on this side.
Hugin, digging through her pack, is taking out an oil flask and some cloth and stuffing it in there, and about to create basically a Molotov cocktail. And I'm going to look at Sir Rob and Brass and be like, need somebody with a good arm.
Rob looks down at his missing hand and takes it with the other one.
Why even bother with the wrong one?
Would you like me
It's still a
to
sore
roll for
subject.
him?
I don't have athletics, so that's why I was asking somebody
Okay.
with a better
Yeah, let
check.
me pull up Sir Rob real quick.
I will know exactly which direction we can go to get out of the fog, though, since we're right on the edge of it.
Yeah, good call. I'm going to say that Rob is also going to have disadvantage on this check because
Damn it,
because he
Elsa.
can't see anything now. He does add 9 to athletics.
Hot damn.
So, rolling with disadvantage. 17 and a 12. The 12 plus 9 is going to be 21, which I think succeeds.
Nice.
Yeah, 18. The DC for this one was 20, so that's 1 failure, 1 success. You need one
And
more
he threw
success.
that on which side?
He threw that towards the bears, correct?
Yeah, towards any cannon. It's got like a 5 feet
Yeah, you see as the fog is sort of like spilling out from one of the cannons itself, that one that's like smoking from having just fired, the smoke thickens and this thick fog begins to fall down, and just before it like coats the ground first before raising up to encompass everything, just before the heads of those cannoneers are covered, Rob hucks this Molotov cocktail that you've made, hucks it over, and you hear screams as it splashes and there's fire. That is
Duneburrow cocktail.
That is one success. You need one more success before 2 more failures. Who's next?
How far away are the people on the other side? You go. Yours is
I'm
better.
gonna make a bunch of weird clicking, like kind of noises or whatever, and call forth a giant beetle in the middle of the like the king's army or whatever.
Nice. Yeah, you just kind of like, and you guys hear this like rumble. This is using one of your summons, right?
Yeah, summon beast.
Excellent.
Summon bug.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Arcana.
Yes.
Not
It's not a spell attack.
animal handling.
No.
I was really hoping for religion online, but
It's only a +1, not a plus anything else.
The DC is 22.
Not +8 like animal handling.
The DC is 22, so you just gotta
Can
roll
I
a
help?
crit.
I really thought, I was like,
would
I'll
say-
do something I'm good at.
I'd say
Not Arcana. Arcana, is it not nature?
you could roll nature, sure.
That'd be much better. Honestly, Arcana is like my worst thing.
My brain went Arcana because you're casting a spell.
I've got Arcana, I've got Survival, I've got Animal Handling, I've got my Spell DC.
I'll say you can choose between Arcana and nature.
Nature, okay.
Okay.
+4.
Okay.
21.
21 is your second failure.
This always happens to us.
The DC's what?
22.
22 for that. The DCs
man.
have been 18.
I was like, alright, I'm not gonna do something I'm bad at. I'm gonna do something I'm good at. Nope.
You had a really good chance. The DC for the first one was 18. That one was 20. Or the next one was 20 for Sarab. That one was 22. Now we're on 24. Who I think Azalea is the only person who hasn't done anything.
Can
yet.
I? Looking like a dove, and not like Azalea, the treasonous High Queen of the realm.
All right, sure.
I'm gonna, while everybody else is like firing things off, I'm gonna like tuck down into the things that I brought with me, and using like any makeup I suppose would exist to some capacity here.
Sure.
I'm gonna once again pull in an old trick out of a new hat, make myself look like somebody who has the whispering rot, and kind of like drape myself out the window on the side of the King Regent's army.
Nice.
And I'm gonna like moan and wail and all the things.
You can roll either deception or performance with disadvantage because they can't really see you very well. The DC is 24.
I'm gonna go with performance. They're both +6, but
Okay.
performance seems like what I'm doing here. 24?
Yeah.
It goes up by 2 every time.
18. These disadvantage rolls are killing us.
Fog cloud. It's a great spell. Sometimes.
I should have made it smaller. I didn't think we'd be caught in it. I thought it was just far enough away.
Lady Azalea, you hang out the window and start moaning and pretending to have the wailing rot.
But it's on the side of the...
The whispering rot. You guys are in the fog. No one has insisted that you've pulled the reins. Elzor knows how to get out of the fog, but you have not done that yet.
Next turn.
You hang out. That is your third failure. Azalea, as you hang out and are pretending to have the whispering
I
rot.
get killed.
Oh no.
No, but probably Sarab is like whispering rot and like starts like pushing against the side of the carriage. There's it's like scrambling amongst all of you. You guys have been pulling forward, like trying to get past this as it has been going down, which unfortunately brings you right into the line of fire of the second cannon, which goes off, blasts through the front of the carriage. The servant that you had driving you, the gray squirrel, is obliterated.
God.
He just a hole through the body, torso separated from legs. As the carriage also becomes separated, the millipedes continue running, but are no longer attached to anything. The carriage falls over to the side. I need everybody to make another dexterity saving throw. The DC for this one is 15.
My favorite saving throw.
Just barely.
7.
What'd you say it was?
15.
Okay, got a 17.
12.
18.
What did Elzor get?
12.
12. Okay, Elzor and Pockle both take 7 points of bludgeoning damage and are thrown from the carriage, knocked prone. Yet again.
This is familiar.
I need to roll for your friends. So, let's do Sarab first since I've got him pulled up. Squawk! Dex save. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's an 18 for Sarab. Now we'll do Dame Liliana.
I guess the good news is I've got my bug.
Yeah.
And we've got a fog left.
Yeah. 13 for Dame Liliana, who also fails. Munin is also here. I don't know how I've rolled an 11 on this die every single time. Like, I just rolled it 3 times. It's been 11 every time. However, for Munin, dexterity saving throw, that's a 21.
Okay.
So she succeeds. All right, dexterity save for Brass. Oof. There was no action on that. It was just like, boom, 8. For a total of 10, he fails, takes 7 damage. Jeez. It's only a 12 for Ash, also fails. 7 damage, knocked prone.
Are we falling in the carriage or out of?
If you failed, you've been thrown from the carriage.
Oh, yikes. You should wear your seatbelts. Hugin and Azalea are just...
Brass, Liliana. As those of you who fail are tossed from the carriage and roll along dirt and stones, a couple of you actually kind of like catch up against trees, tree trunks that you hit that you like. Obviously, you're tumbling end over end. You couldn't see anyway, but also just like through white fog, catching branches and twigs that are like going into your armor and poking and scratching at the skin. The rest of you catch yourselves. Munin pulls the very motherly thing of like putting her arm past you, Hugin, as soon as there's like an issue and she's like holding you towards the back and catches herself on the front.
I'm like looking at her arm like, what the fuck?
Why are you hitting me?
Don't touch my boobs.
Mother, you've struck me. Rob also catches himself. He instinctively reaches out with both hands and like just like hits his stump against the wall and lets out a growl before catching himself. The carriage comes to a halt, and you hear the continued cannon fire and screams of battle beginning around you as there's a clashing of forces. And that's where we're going to end this episode of A War of Fang and Fur.
I was gonna say to Brass, hey, big man, we need you live. You need to get out of here right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw up.
Very oddly and unnaturally, the fog just like drops. And it's almost like it soaks like a sponge into the ground.
He can move on his own.
This is why we will never move.
You keep moving, man, you bad attitude, little apple.
I will.
I don't like what this game is doing to us.
I blame the heat.
Rob is going to rush over and leaps and throws himself over Brass Bandalar.
Do arrows come before Brass's turn?
If you guys continue running, you will get away, but Rob will not. Do all of you continue to flee?